Hey y'all, I'm Todd Bailey.
What's up? It's Arie Lumberdozy.
And this is fucking Brewtal.
Get in the pit, stock up the fridge, and listen. We're here to cover the latest in metal news and craft beer. A match made in hell.
If it makes you bang your head, then we want to hear it. If it tickles your taste buds, share those suds.
Turn it up to 11.
Crack open that beer.
It's about to get brutal.
What is up, Hopwolves? It's your boys, Arie and Todd, coming at you with episode 63 of Brewtal Podcast. Recording on 120. Better than 420? Possibly, but...
no, absolutely not.
Probably not. But it's been an exciting week for myself. I have actually been working out. I've gone to the gym 3 days in a row. A little slow clap for me.
You're the only one.
Yeah. But no, man, it's actually kind of funny because my arms hurt now, and it's just like the old familiar pain of working out.
Yep.
But I'm glad to be doing something for my health, so pretty stoked about that. While I've been doing walks before the workouts, I've been listening to a couple bands. Yeah, I'm not a runner, so I do long walks with myself.
I just see you like in a fucking tracksuit, like a nice Adidas from the 90s, but you're power walking instead. But you also have one of your cats on a leash. That's what I envision.
Also in a tracksuit.
Oh, yeah. With an Adidas leash, too.
Oh, nothing less. Anyway, that's my dream. I'll add that to my vision board. But while I've been walking, I've been listening to two bands currently, but it's about to be added some more after this release day. We'll get to that in a short while. But I've been listening to this emo melodic hardcore band, One Step Closer, which I thought was going to be new metal because of the name title. I thought it was like a Linkin Park nod, but it's not.
I think that's a safe assumption.
Yeah, but no, I'm just like totally in that vibe right now, in my sad boy vibes, but really good music. So I wanted to promote that band.
I'm sorry, all I can think of is how Shannon said that Bad Omens was breakup music, and that
it is.
It is, but it's just like you crying in the corner with your fucking tracksuit, you and your cats with a matching tracksuit. Oh, beautiful. Please continue.
Anyway, after them, I've also been listening to The Wise Man's Fear. Highly recommend Atlas Runica to anyone. There's some sick, nasty, filthy spots. I miss the clean singing that they often do, so be prepared for that. But they're going heavier now with this mix that they got going with their trademark fantasy core. I love it, dude. So highly recommend that, Adam.
Is that a thing now, fantasy core, or did you just come up with that?
They're kind of making it a thing because so many people have called them that, so they're kind of owning it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, did I just miss something else? But okay, yeah, fantasy core, let's get it.
But yeah, no, that's been my week. Glad to be working out again, and then listening to some killer music.
That's what's up, dude. I was fucking around and finding out this week, dude, but I actually didn't find out anything. I just fucked around. I wish I could tell you what I did this week. I honestly don't know.
Blackout Crew.
Dude, Depression Crew. It has not been helping this year. The seasonal is hitting hard, but got some good things on the horizon. I'm going to be going to Louisville next week for a gig, so that'll be cool.
Bring your baseball bat.
Yeah, and a baseball for my mouth so I don't fucking sound like an idiot. So yeah, that'll be cool. And yeah, I wish I knew more about what I did, but here we are. Excited to be doing this, but for both of us, you, Todd, finally pulled the trigger on getting us a Brewtal Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got us a Brewtal TikTok. So we're trying to expand our horizons here and be a little bit more hip with the square, if you will.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I got a lot of ideas, and I know Todd's got a lot of ideas for building the brand here. And weird time in the scene for sure. From a lot of people just like putting in their 2 cents, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But before that, why don't we get into what we're drinking this week? Go ahead, buddy.
In the meanwhile, this is what I'm drinking.
Nice.
I am drinking Meanwhile Brewing Company's German style Pilsner. It's a Pilsner. That's my quote. 4.8 ABV, 27 IBU. Meanwhile is from Austin, Texas, where I currently reside. Let me tell you a little bit about the can. The can actually is kind of like a dark hunter green, if you will. And it's got nice little gold text and lines and everything. So it's very pleasing to the eye. It's got like this artwork of like a glass with beer and stars in it, a desert horizon with clouds. So it's kind of surrealist, but very minimalist on the artwork. And I love that, especially for a can of beer. The size of the can, if you saw, it's a 16-ounce can. So I'm happy about that. On the side of it, though, it says, slow down, pay attention to the details, find the beauty in the little moments, and enjoy the company you keep. I think that's a nice, poignant message with what Arie was just talking about. You know, if you're depressed out there, maybe think about that, let that resonate. Other than that, let's get one off the tongue and see if I like this. I will.
That's a dumb point.
Yeah, it tastes like Pilsner. Anyway, so they say there's notes of lemon peel, dough, and spice. So I'm going to take a few more sips and see if any of those come through.
Oh, so it's a drug then? You got the spice drug in there, dude? That's cool.
From Dune, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Definitely getting the lemon on the tongue. Trying to think what dough tastes like, but I guess there's a little bit of the earthiness to the hops, if you will, but it's more the lemon coming through and maybe the spice, but I couldn't even tell you what spice they use. I would actually be so inclined to try this with like some jerk chicken or some, lemon pepper chicken would be dope with this, actually. It's pretty solid beer. I've had better Pilsners, and that's my opinion, but I mean, this is right in that pocket. If you like a light beer and you want to just chill and relax, this is perfect for that.
So would you get it again? That we got to go with our rating system. Would you drink again?
I would drink this again. I would drink this again if I went to the brewery. I would not buy a 6-pack though.
Okay. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah. I see you got your beer there, man. That's a tall can.
Yeah, so this is for everyone watching. We'll get into it here. This is a 19.2 can. So this is what I was talking about, like beer wise, like beer trend wise.
Yeah, to compare just how taller his is.
Yeah, wish I was a baller, dude. Yeah. So this, I've said this before, and I said it in the trends earlier this year. I used to hate that these were a thing. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand what is the point of a 19.2, but like this is honestly like perfect for me now, especially like being on a tighter budget, which I know I keep bringing that up, but like it's just very real right now. This is, well, I'll just get into it here. I have New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IPA. I like New Belgium. They're definitely more mainstream than anything, but I mean, they make quality beers, and the Voodoo Ranger, like that whole series, I think is really fun, and they do a lot of cool things with it. So for everyone listening and also watching, this one features the Ranger himself. I don't know if it has a name other than like the Voodoo Ranger, but this one in particular has the Ranger with like a flight helmet, and it's got some nice like drops on the side for it, and like some cool, like there's a volleyball patch. So like a lot of nods to like Top Gun and stuff like that, which is really cool. But this thing is 9.5 ABV. I mean, for the price point and what you're getting, I think that this is a really cool and like economical way if you like don't want to buy a full 6-pack, or like you don't want to get like a 4-pack of pounders, like Todd was saying. I think that getting 1 or 2 of these is pretty cool, and I really like that they're doing this now. So much like my life in general, I've been eating my words, so I'm really stoked with how this whole presentation is. And again, the color itself, which I actually didn't pour it out, so I'm not sure what it looks like. I'm just drinking out of the can, raw dogging like usual. And it's like, it's got a nice orange glow to it, which is cool. There's a lot of orange in the design itself on the Rangers helmets and in the name. So yeah, I really like what's going on with this one. I've had it before. This is the second time I've had it, and I would continue to get going. So definitely would get again, because I have gone again. Per the website, it says Juice Force IPA is a fruit-forward, highly drinkable IPA, 9.5% ABV blast. Buckle up. With this hazy IPA, you'll be buzzing the tower in no time. Facts. Okay. Especially if you don't fucking eat like we do here on Brewtal. I can't even talk right now. It's hitting me already.
Full force, baby.
Full force. Get one on the palate here. Dude, it tastes like fruit juice.
I love that with an IPA, especially a hazy.
It's amazing, dude. Last time when Sky and I got it, I think she had mentioned that it's got more orangey notes, and I think that it has more like fruit punch type notes to it. So like a mixture of a bunch of. So to everyone's point and the website, it is super fruit forward. It is highly drinkable. A lot of the times with like hazies and just like New England's or anything like that, the types of hops that they use usually do not mix well with like my throat. And what I mean by that is like it's just too much citrus, which I really like the beer, but I can only have like one of them. I'm not getting any burn from the citrus that's in there. I'm not sure what kind of hops they're using, but it is very smooth. It is highly drinkable. Yeah, I really, this is one of my favorite Voodoo Rangers that I've had over the years. And I don't know, that's one of those, like I would pick it up just because like how consistent that whole series is. And I like New Belgium. So yeah, would get again, have gotten again. Boom.
Oh yeah, dude. I really like New Belgium, and like you said, Voodoo Rangers just iconic at this point, and it's backed up by good beer. So like they have some clout to their name, to their brand, and they continue to put out great beer. So glad you got them. Always a good time to promote them.
Absolutely. And before we move into our next section, the metal wow, I can't fucking talk right now. The metal headlines, Jesus Christ. I wanted to point out, I've probably pointed out this before, but New Belgium has a special place in my heart because like the only time I went to Colorado was with my dad almost 10 years ago, which is crazy. But we went up to the Stanley Hotel where Stephen King got the idea to write The Shining. They had a film festival up there. And we were asking people like, what was like some local beers or what were, dude, I can't fucking talk. Anyway, what were local beers that we should try? And someone said Fat Tire. And I thought that was the name of the brewery for years until we got it into Erie, into that market. And I was like, New Belgium, what the fuck is this? I was like, oh wait, I've had Fat Tire. So regardless, I'm a fanboy, New Belgium through and through. But speaking of being fanboys, why don't we get into the metal headlines? We're doing like a lot of transitional things here, like for us on the show. We're sticking to one thing now that stuck out to us in the slew of metal headlines. Todd picked out the headline for this week. So what do you got there, sir? This is an interesting one.
As I was perusing the interwebs that are Twitter, which is a great news source, not really, but
Elon, don't cancel us.
Yeah, I stumbled upon a Mr. Tyler Denon of Sworn In. He was kind of going on a rant, if you will, but he was just tweeting a lot. And so I kind of went down the rabbit hole of what he was saying. And he was kind of giving some insight on the music industry itself when he was in Sworn In. They're currently disbanded right now. He had some really interesting things to say. So I'll kind of go in this order, but this is kind of out of context on how he wrote it. But here's just some of the highlights, bullet points, if you will. He had mentioned that his band doesn't own the Death Card album at all. And the now defunct label Razor and Tie does, which is kind of a perplexing situation because they can't do anything with one of their most popular albums to date. And it's actually nearing its 10-year mark because it came out in 2013. So that's kind of a bummer. He went on to say that they dropped Death Card hoodies. I'm sure someone out there listening has one. It drove so much traffic to their merch site that it crashed. He said that it cleared 30K in 48 hours, which is crazy, especially for like a band just coming out with music. He said, though, that the band didn't see a single penny from the sales, which is jarring to hear. In their band lifetime, which was from 2012 to 2018, he said that the band grossed well over 2 million. And the band members actually only saw maybe 7,000 each. That is a small fraction of what they could have taken in. I don't know. As we talk about it, so I have a personal history of I actually missed the hype with this band, whereas Arie was all in, especially with this album. He even owns a Death Card t-shirt. So it's undeniable that they had a huge influence on the scene and are loved by many still to this day. But the moral of Tyler's story was never sign to a label or management contract without educated reviewing and negotiation. I think that's very poignant. I think, he was ranting. He did talk about mental health for himself, which I hope he's in a better place today. I think that is very true. I think a lot of people, because there's always new bands coming out. That's half the reason we still exist, is we're always looking for what's new. I really think be wary of what you're getting into and make a thoughtful decision. There's the argument out there. We discussed this before the podcast of people saying like, you shouldn't be in it for the money, but people still should make a livelihood from what they love. I think we're in that day and age where you can do that. I mean, there's influencers out there where I still don't know what they do, but they're making money.
Yeah.
So I think his point is valid. I think we should all really listen to that and have a nice takeaway from that. But go check it out. It's on Twitter. He's very open, which I appreciate. That's why we're talking about it right now. But to end this on a lighter note, Arie, what is your favorite song from Death Card? I picked one. I listened to it in its entirety before the podcast, so I have one in mind too. But I want to ask Arie first, since he's definitely the bigger fan of this band.
Yeah, dude, this is an album that I would say not so much now, but I do revisit this one like a lot. I listened to it like a couple months ago, and it'll pop like when we have conversations like this, like, dude, I fucking love that album. It's one of my favorites. And I was definitely on the hype train. Like Todd said, have the Death Card. I wanted a hoodie super bad, but I just couldn't get one. I have a shirt still. My wife wears it all the time, and I love when she does. And it just like the whole, that was a time when like they were wearing like the same things. It was all like, the aesthetic was there. It's like dark, gloomy. So to that point, my favorite song is hands down Snake Eyes. That's the one that really got me into that band. And it still fucking slaps to this day, almost 10 years later. But I also really love the whole album. Even the interludes are super cool. And I think it was their drummer, whose name is escaping me, like wrote all the lyrics in a basement, like in the dark, on like shrooms. And it was
Oh
something
wow.
like he wanted to go to like this super dark place to write the lyrics, and you can hear it in the songs sonically and lyrically. But Death is my second favorite because like it has one of my fucking favorite lines. Hell isn't a place you go when you're dead. Hell's inside your fucking head. And
Nice. I
oh,
just got
dude,
goosebumps from that, man.
it's so good. And I had a project that I still want to get done, but it's called Hell Stroll, and it's basically like horror stories like from your mental state, and like that lyric is like kind of like the inspiration behind that. So it's still what I'm trying to get to, and to the point of what Todd was saying is like, to me that album in particular has stuck with me for a long time. I got to see them once like around this era, and it was great. But yeah, dude, if you're gonna listen to anything from Sworn In, because they sounded different before Death Card, and they've come out with other music since like
Yeah,
they
there was
kind
like
of
two albums
disband.
after that. Or
Yeah,
oh, you're
because
talking since they disbanded?
yeah, so like they because Tyler left the band after All Smiles,
Hmm.
and then they just kind of went on hiatus, but they've come back with like the original singer. So he's not the original singer, and they were very different before the Death Card too. Anyway, to me, this is prime time, and it was kind of ahead of its time too. Like it's got a lot of new metal influences, I would say, in there. Um, and the thing that always pops into my mind now too is like whenever you see Taylor Barber from Left to Suffer do vocal videos, there's
Yes.
always a Death Card banner on the back, and I fucking love that. So I guess that also shows like where the influence comes. So for me, Snake Eyes and Death are right up there. But what about for yourself, sir?
So after further listening, I actually like the song right after Snake Eyes, Deadpan, just to be a little different. I think it's a great following track. There was a lot that really stood out to me. I was surprised with the amount of solos in this album.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasantly surprised. I was like, hell yeah, like you don't expect that from a band like this because you're expecting the breakdown, you're expecting something
Yeah.
else. And I was very turned on by the musicianship, uh, especially certain like riff sections. I was just like, okay, like I'm in. Like everyone, even the guy behind the kit, he's really great. Yeah, but Deadpan had some nice sections in it. I was almost going to put a song for the Nameless because there's a really great
Mm-hmm.
breakdown in that, but I really like the wankery in Deadpan. It kept me guessing, so I that really stood out to me.
Yeah, that's a great track. I think when like talking about the album itself before we move into the albums that dropped today, why it has so much staying power to me is because like you have such strong singles, like Song for the Nameless, like that was one, Snake Eyes was one. But then if you listen to the album as a whole, like as it should be,
Hmm.
like it works very nicely like in both facets, because I feel like a lot of times now the focus is on singles, which is not a bad thing because like with the amount of content that's being created all the time, like there's a shorter attention span for like what's good and what's not. So like focusing on singles and like kind of always being in people's mouths is very important, as opposed to like, well, we need to create like a really strong full length or like an EP or something like that. But this one does both very well, in my opinion. So yeah, great album. Listen to it if you have not. You're gonna like it, guaranteed. Like Men's Warehouse.
Yeah, we'll make sure we tag that in the show notes. But here we go. Let's get into our albums and songs of the day with our release day playlist, certified brutal bangers. We're going to start with albums first. Would you like for me to take that away, or would you want to do the honor?
No, go for it.
Let's do this damn thing. This list was completely different at about midnight last night, and then I switched it all out. But I'm really happy with the end results. At number one, again, these are just in alphabetical order. At number one, we have Seagate. That's C hyphen Gate with their album No Future. We have Cincinnati Bowtie. Cincinnati is spelled a little different. It's CINCIN. Drop that second end. They came out with their album Incantation. Interesting name. we're kind of torn with it on Brutal, but they are stupid heavy, so go listen to them.
That's a great album.
Yeah, great album. Next up, we have For I Am King with their album Crown. I was joking with Arie before the podcast that I thought it was going to be a Christian metalcore band, and it turns out that their lead female vocalist, I don't know, of all the songs I listened to from her, she didn't sing a single bit, which I love. Usually it's a trope with a female vocalist, like, oh, we're going to do cleans. No, she says, fuck that. And I love it for it. After them, we have the band called No Business. I've never heard of these guys before, but they were heavy enough to make the list. Their album is called Snitch. So don't snitch on them, man. They'll write an album about you.
You're going to have no business after that.
That's right. After that, we have Our Last Crusade with their album Death Wins. I love that album title. And it turned out to be a great listen, so it's on the list. After that is the band Our Martyred Lady. Never heard of this before, but they just dropped their EP Heresy #2. Next up, from here on out, it's pretty much EPs. We have Tactosa at #7 with their EP Exit Wounds. We joked about this last podcast. I think it's a tribute to DMX. His, I think 2001 film Exit Wounds.
That movie's fucking great.
Oh yeah, go watch that. Listen to this album. After them, we have The Rising Tide with their EP The Hope We Die For. Arie added this to the list, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh hell yeah, they're a good one. They're a good one. After them, I have the band Underneath, which I highly recommend to a lot of people. Right out the gates, I think the intro track is called Cesarean Birth or something like that. So just ripping a baby out of a woman's stomach. That's how this album starts. Their EP is called Nothing Here Is Held Sacred, which is pretty dope title. Last but not least, we have Venom and Valor. This is another EP, like I said, and it's called Rebirth. I love their sound. Go check them out. Again, all these EPs brought it today, so I think they're the kings of the day. But it begs the question, what is our favorite? I myself, I got to go with Tactosa. I've been waiting for this for a while. I love Mr. Whedon's clean, or not his cleans. He doesn't have any cleans.
I was like, dude, which way? We listened to two very different albums.
I should just promote them as like a clean band, and then when people listen, they're like, oh my God. No, they are deathcore, and the Florida deathcore scene is thriving right now. Go check them out. One of the best. Go check Tracheotomy. We talked about them last week.
Yep.
The scene is strong, including death metal. Florida is just bringing metal to a new level.
Yeah, they are, dude. It's probably because like everyone's sick of like consumerism and people invading their space. They're like, dude, I'm gonna do a DIY autopsy on your ass if you continue.
Boom.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, I didn't listen to anything all the way through, but I would say Tactosa is also the one I was looking forward to the most. I'm still on the fence as to how close it is to Suicide Silence, like early era, but I'm not mad about it. Like I'm really embracing like this revival, like the MySpace revival, we'll call it. I can't even coin that. I saw someone say that. Actually, I think I saw Tracheotomy say that. Anyway, kudos to them because they're right. But I really love Tactosa. So as much flack as I might have given them before about like sounding too on the nose, I'm here for it because they're masters of their craft already. And yeah, I can't wait to see what comes of this band. And to Todd's point, Kyle Wheaton's is basically like Mitch Lucker incarnate at this point. Like he's doing,
and that's a compliment.
It is. And as much as it pains me to say, dude, I'm not that stoked for the new Suicide Silence. They just released their 4th single. I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on. But Tactosa is doing Suicide Silence better than Suicide Silence. And that pains me to say, but it's true. So I'm excited for that band. But I really like the Underneath one too that Todd had mentioned. He sent that to me earlier.
Dude, blown away. Heard of this band. Never heard of them. And I was like, right out the gates, I was like, Arie's going to like this. And it was true. But yeah, to circle back to Tactosa one more time, like I had the same like feelings about them, and like I was on board right away, but I will say there's like kind of only one track on the CP that really sounds like a Suicide Silence comparison, but that's already a single they released, which was Tastemaker. So
Okay, well that's good.
yeah, which is good because all the new tracks are just fucking solid, dude. I can't wait till you listen to the whole thing. The closer Exit
Excited.
Wounds is a nice highlight. So once you get to that, you'll be like, okay, uh, this is a good EP.
Can't wait to listen to it. And speaking of things to continue listening to, let's get into the Certified Brutal Banger playlist. Because again, straight up fire, dude.
Let's go. We're starting off number one, Cut Off the Head, song from To the Grave. I mean, come on, at this point, they're always going to be top five usually in our playlist because they just are killing it. And of note,
Yeah.
with this song title, they're saying cut the head off to deathcore in a way. So they're saying fuck all these other deathcore bands. We are kings, I feel. That's my opinion.
I think that's pretty fair. I mean, they're really like at the top of their game.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they've released for their new album coming out is phenomenal. Between the visuals and the songs themselves, dude, give me more. Like, I want to go to this grave. Where's it at? Take me there.
Well, along the way, maybe you can invite a Mr. Cape Kong. That is the band
Come
title,
on.
Cape Kong. They live up to that name, dude. They are a behemoth, and their song is titled Grace of Blades. Very original song title. I love that. And it is equally
nice.
as heavy, so it deserves your attention. Go listen to that band, Cape Kong. It's a little tongue in cheek, but we love it. After them, we have Chelsea Grin. They are starting to come out with the singles for the other album that is dropping, which is crazy. This dual album of theirs, we love it. And this song is titled Sing to the Grave. So,
Ooh, do you think that's a call out?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We're talking
Plot
graves.
thickens.
We're talking graves. We're talking grace. But let's move on to a different letter. The letter D, because this song is called Disease and Disorder and is from Casket Maker, who is a Brewtal alumni. I mean, this band has been on our radar ever since we featured them, so go check them out. They're only getting better, dude.
This is my favorite song that they've released so far.
Same.
I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, we love what they're doing. Big fans over here. So if y'all are listening, we want you to hear it. After them, we have the song Parasocial from Termina, and this is featuring Phil Bozeman of Whitechapel and Joshua Travis of Emir. What a pairing, dude. And
Yeah.
it delivers. This song's a great time. Everyone, no flawed notes. This is great. Check it out. This has got Andy Sizek on vocals. He's the current vocalist of Monuments. And it also has a Mr. Nick Nocturnal on guitar. So if you've watched a review of anything, he's your guy. He's a great time to watch. After them, we have the song An Equivalent Exchange from a band that we are learning to love called Sleep Sculptor. Love the band name. I think Casket Maker and them are both from PA. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Love it. Lots of PA love at the top of this list. After them, we have the song Burn Eternal from the band Honest Crooks. Really heavy. Go check it out. After them, we have Gates of Horn, the new single from Jesus Peach. Their album is shaping up to be a good one, dude. I cannot wait for that to drop. They did announce an album, so you can see what that's all about on their social media. Yeah, dude, I can't wait either. This is going to be a good one for them. After that, we have More Power, period. More Pain, period. And this is a new single from Gideon. Let that cowboy ride, dude. I can't get over his look on stage, but I love it. I love that he leaned into the image. They're from Bama, so it makes sense. But
Oh, I want to interject for 1 second to that point. I saw Gideon with Wage War last year, and they were great. But I had to I think I texted you and shout out Baby Bear Eric Lewis. I was like, dude, did Gideon get a new lead singer? Because I don't remember them ever having that cowboy aesthetic, but it sounded exactly the same. And it's the same lineup, but to your point, they really leaned into it, but they're still, dude, they're bringing the heavy. They have only gotten heavier over the years, and it's really exciting. They're a good time live too.
Yeah, and they added a little bit of a new metal influence to it, which I love, just to switch it up. So yeah, if you're into denim, leather, you're gonna love these guys. To keep it
great
moving,
great combo.
We're almost halfway through. At number 10, we have Earthen from Of Sulfur. A lot more cleans with this one, which I was pleasantly surprised. He's a really good singer, and very more emotional track from them. I think they all are in a way, but the music video for this one kind of seemed like a sad time. So if you're in your feelings, definitely go check this out. And again, it still brings the heavies. After that, we have the song 1999 from the band Soothsayer. This one made me think of a little bit of old school Misery Signals in a way. Pleasantly surprised with this. A very slow intro to the track, but it ramps up not much longer. After them, we have the song Collapse from Breakdown of Sanity. These boys are back. This song has everything you've ever loved about this band. They are in their true form again, and I mean, they've always kind of been, but now they're throwing all the punches. So love to see it. I don't even know what I said. What does that even mean? Throw all the punch? I don't know, guys, but we're going to get through this list.
We're breaking down sanity. Nothing. It's all a simulation. Who cares?
Well, that's just perfect, which is a perfect transition for this next song. This song is called Perfect, but it's spelled with a K. And it's from another Brewtal alumni. There's going to be a few of them on this list, but this one is Consumer. We recently did a clip on our social media. Go check that out about their song Selbst Justice, which is basically translated to vigilantism. That was our heaviest song of 2022. So
heavy.
That says something about this band. Go check them out. They are German metal, so you're going to hear a lot of lyrics in German, just of note, but yeah, they are a juggernaut for sure. After them, we have In Flames with their song Meet Your Maker. That album's shaping up to be a good one too. There's still a lot of cleans in there, but man, are they, I think, in a nice little pocket for their sound. With God, I don't even know how many albums this is now. They have too many.
It's at least 10, dude.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So the fact that they're churning out some of their best material in a long time is saying a lot.
Yeah. So go check that out. After that, this is a band I said to be on the watch for this year. I'm talking about In Fear, and they just released their track, The Blinding White. Yeah, man,
Pony.
What can be said? I made Loathe comparisons, Deftones in a way, but they go hard in the heavy. So even though you're going to get a little bit of that nice melody, they are going to bring the beat down as well. After them, we have a new track from Gnosis. So this is Rio's new band, and their track is in Japanese, so we had to do some translation through Google and whatnot, but I believe it is pronounced Seisai, and I believe this is my loosest translation. I checked a few sites, but I believe it means broken star, but I could very well be wrong. I want to be as delicate with this as possible, but new track from Gnosis. Check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Spotify. It is now on Spotify. It's a little hard to find at first, like I said, because the title is in Japanese, but do a little digging and you will find it. It's a great track. I honestly, to me, it's not too far off of what Crystal Lake was sounding like, but there's some surprising sections in here that are it's a lot of clean vocals.
I was not expecting how the track was structured.
Yeah.
It really it's taking the heaviness that was Crystal Lake's last album, which is escaping me currently.
Aeon, I think. No.
Aeon. No, that was a song. That's the album though.
Yeah.
It'll come.
Oh, Helix or something like that?
Something like that.
Well, after that, they had those 2 singles that were really good, like What It Is to Burn or something like that. Wow.
That's true. That's true. But to your point, like I think like Rio was really like this sounds like what he wanted to do as far as like, because I know he was having a lot of mental health issues in Crystal Lake. So it's really cool to hear like what that's translating to for this new project. And I think of note, like the album art are snakes, but they're black and white. And it just made me think of like yin and yang. So like just like the balance of they've had that in other stuff that Crystal Lake did as well too. So I think that like that really translates to how the track is, because it is a really good balance of stupid heavy and also really nice melodies.
Yeah, like catchy tunes. Also of note, I think with that album art or the single art, if you will, it kind of makes me think of a Rorschach test too, which is a nice little double entendre. That's a joke from earlier off camera, but
yeah.
Anyway, moving after them, these 4 are awesome. Go check them out. At number 17, we have Undivine from Head Cave. We've featured a couple of their tracks before. I love what he's doing. It's the vocalist from My Ticket Home with a new band. They've been super heavy in some of these past singles, dude. This one's a little bit more melodic. There's cleans, but great time. After that, another Brewtal alumni. We have Black Coast with their song Mercy. I'm just going to say it now. This is actually my favorite song of the day. They were one of my top 5 the year they released their album Outworld. Love these. Awesome. Love the boys from Stoke-on-Trent. That's over in the UK. They were really appreciative when I reached out to them about how much I love their album. So love you guys. Go check them out. UK scene is alive and thriving. After them, we have another Brewtal alumni in After Dusk. That's the band name. And they just released a new track called Fleeting Faith, which is technically part of an EP, if you will, but it's just 2 singles right now. They've been doing this over the past couple of years to promote their music. I actually like that they're doing it. It's a nice little strategy. But yeah, they are sounding tighter and tighter as songwriters. I love everything they're doing. Last but not least, we have For the Fallen Dreams. They officially announced that they're going to have a new album. So this is another single from the album that's coming out. It's a self-titled, and it's called Last One Out. I thought that was poignant for the last song on the album. Definitely a lot more cleans with their new sound, almost even new metal sounding.
Yeah.
Some people might even say arena metal, but that's okay with this, because I actually really love that the cleans are better than before. And Chad Ruleg is still screaming his heart out. So it's a good combo, in my opinion. They've come a long way from Changes. I think it's kind of ironic because every album pretty much has been a change in sound for them. So I love where they've landed themselves now. And they're not young people anymore. One's a realtor. So it's
Jim.
Mr. Jim Hawking, one of the songwriters, probably the main songwriter. I think
he's the only, like, he is For the Fallen Dreams.
Yeah,
because
I would agree.
Even though Chad was on Changes and it was an original member, he wasn't there for like 3 albums.
Mm-hmm.
So like Jim's been the only consistent member. So not only is he a great realtor, he's a great songwriter too.
Begs the question for you. So I kind of revealed my favorite, which was, again, Black Coast. But how about you, man? What stood out to you? What was your favorite, and maybe some other highlights?
Dude, I know it sounds like a broken record at this point. Like, and I almost get sick of saying that. But like the amount of heat that's been out this month is insanity to me. Like we made the joke earlier, like off camera, that like January is the new like October. Yeah. When like a lot of like heavy hitters and stuff, like end of the year type of deal. Like, dude, there's been so much amazing albums, EPs, and tracks that have been released super early in the year. And that's really cool and refreshing to hear. You know, I went with Chelsea Grin with the Sing to the Grave just because like when I was listening to this list, it really caught me off guard to be like, damn, dude, like this, it was Chelsea Grin in a setting that encapsulate their new sound, but kind of like beckon back to like how they used to be too.
Yeah, I agree.
And I really, really like that. And that was hard for me to pick like just that song. But Sing to the Grave, like I didn't give Suffer in Hell that much time a day. I listened to it and I really liked it, but I didn't listen to it enough. So I'm really excited to revisit that, and especially Suffer in Heaven coming out in March. But yeah, dude, I mean, the Casket Maker, I really am enjoying the direction that they're going. I think that they're really honing in on their sound. Biased for sure because like they're a Brewtal alum and they're from the Pittsburgh area, but still like there's no denying like that they're really coming into their own.
Mm-hmm.
The Termina track, dude, Jesus Piece, I loved. Anything with Breakdown of Sanity, dude. Like, I mean, honestly, this whole list is fucking awesome and I love it. I love when when it's really hard for me to pick my favorite of the day.
Same here, dude. I had a hard time, but I had to go with Black Coast because I love them boys.
And that song's awesome.
Yeah,
it's an amazing track.
If you're interested in all these songs we just talked about, go check it out. It's on Spotify. Certified Brewtal bangers. Brewtal, how we spell brutal. You're in for a good time if you got to work out like I've had in the past 3 days. That's what I need to start doing, baby. Dude. I need to start spinning our own shit. So that's gonna happen.
As it should, dude. Selfishly, like I listen to this shit all the time. So even if the Hopwolves were not into it, which I hope that you are, this thing would still be up because like we love it. I listen to it like at least like I mean weekly, like we do it weekly, but I listen to it a few times in that span. So like, you know, like a little pat on the back for us, but like it would be shit that I want to listen to even if we weren't doing this show.
Yeah, that's what this whole podcast is about, is like if we listen to something, love it, like we want to talk about it.
Yeah. Which, speaking of things that we want to talk about, let's get into the featured bands. We're really excited to be bringing back that section into the mix. And we've got a really fast, heavy track, some nice death metal, like straight up death metal, because we don't always talk about this type of genre. And it's really fun for us to get into things that, again, like we don't normally listen to and that we're being exposed to, me specifically. But anyway, with that being said, we're talking about the band Blasphemous, and their track Eternal Misanthropy is what we're featuring today.
Hell yeah.
Very, very fucking excited. This shit ain't blasphemous to us. This is exactly what we want to hear in a track. Current lineup of the boys in Blasphemous, we have RK, that's Ron Kaiser on vocals, Hal on rhythm guitar and backing vocals, Steve on lead guitar, Mark on drums, and Dan on bass. I'm skipping the last names because I can't say some of them, but that's okay. We love you, boys.
Swear words.
They're swear words. So the bio that the band gave to us, they initially formed in 2003. So, I mean, dude, what 20-year mark at this point, which is fucking cool.
Congrats,
super
to
cool.
Seriously, that's awesome.
Yeah, let's have a moment for Blasphemous there. That's fucking awesome.
Let's give them a cheers.
Okay, so formed in 2003. They are from Philadelphia, PA, which, well, let's slide, but that's okay. We love you still. They're from Philly with a mission to create uncompromising black/death metal.
Mm-hmm.
After a demo in 2005, a couple compilation appearances, and 2 full lengths in 2008 and 2010, Blasphemous took a hiatus in 2013. They came back swinging in 2016 with a new lineup that came together with a renewed energy, and for the most part has remained consistent since then. Honestly, like with a lot of, we talk about like the MySpace days for deathcore and stuff like that, and a lot of bands that we grew up listening to coming back into the mix. That's really exciting to hear that like these bands are going through life and realizing that like this is what they miss doing.
Yeah.
So coming back with that renewed energy to me is one of like the coolest things, and you could hear it, and that's exactly what you're gonna hear with this track that we're featuring, and also the album that they released last year. But anyway, to go off that, so they released a full length in 2018, a new EP in 2022, and another album in the works. So that album is already out now. They have no signs of stopping. Fuck yeah, that's what we love to hear. After taking a few months away from live activity work on finishing up the next record, and to give Hal, their guitarist, some much recovery time from a broken arm that he received at a dying fetus show.
Yeah, we hope by now it's set. It's all good. Yeah. Wishing good health to you, Hal. Seriously.
Absolutely. Especially with the riffs that y'all are playing, you gotta be in tip top shape for sure. So if that's not showing like dedication to the scene, I don't know what the fuck is.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this point, Blasphemous does have this feature length out, which is coming from the track that we have featured is coming off of that album. So this is really exciting. Eternal Misanthropy, about the track itself, ironically or unironically, if you will, the lyrics were written well before COVID, but it's about how a plague basically takes over the world, and the only way to end it is nuking the world. So
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
You just got a hard reset sometimes. And it's weird to think of like, I mean, we're still in the COVID area. That's not over, even though like things are quote unquote a little bit back to normal. It's just weird to experience those things and like hear lyrics that are like about like nuclear holocaust and like disease ridden world and be like, dude, this is like, we're fucking living in this shit.
Like,
maybe not to the same, maybe not to the same extent as the lyrics and the songs, but we're still living it. Let's get into the track itself. It's fast. I mean, like, get the fucking fire extinguisher fast. And we love that here on Brewtal. Blast beats and tremolo picking for fucking days. Everything about this track oozes old school death metal, and we're here for it. Production, musicianship, lyricism, etc. I mean, what's cool about like the fact that they have an old school death metal sound is because like they are old school death metal. Maybe not like 80s, 90s type, but like they formed in 03, so like they already had that mentality of having like that type of death metal.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're kind of coming back around to that style now, and that goes for almost any genre. And I feel like it's exciting for like you and I, because like growing up and being in a certain scene, and then being a little bit older now and seeing some of the trends that are coming back around, like, I don't know, to me that's exciting to be like, oh, like I know who you're referencing, and now you're putting your own spin on it. So they've got the old school death metal sound, but they're really making it their own. The main riff is hella catchy, and Mark rarely lets off the gas when it comes to keeping those double bass pedals rolling. Always a good thing. Metal without the second pedal. I love RK's vocal styling. Like, it has like a tinge of black metal rawness to it, which is cool.
I agree.
And that in itself is unique for death metal, at least in my opinion. 142 has a nice lead line change into more buffoonery of speed that will make Michelangelo Baccio blush.
Nice.
For any of the Hopwolves out there unfamiliar with Michelangelo Baccio, he is like a shred master. He does the double neck guitar, and Todd and I always joke about the one instructional video. He says, he's like, I'll give you the keys to the Lamborghini of speed.
I love that so much. Go check it out. It still exists. Go check it out on YouTube.
We'll link it in the show notes because it's well worth watching. It's a good time. He's a phenomenal guitarist, but like, just to kind of give you that little inside scoop, like how fast this track is, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
2 minutes, 9 seconds to 2:28 is my favorite section of the track. All in all, it's an unrelenting onslaught of death, disease, and eternal misanthropy from our homies in Blasphemous.
Hell yeah,
Thank you for this, dude. And I can't stress this enough. Like, it's really cool to listen to a band like Blasphemous when I personally wouldn't listen to them like a ton. And what I mean by that is just like straight up death metal is not my favorite. But these guys really make it fun, and like I want to hear more. Like I want to see them live,
Yes.
and I want to be there to like witness the musicianship, witness the speed, the Lamborghini. Hopefully, you bring a Lamborghini out on stage. I don't know. I want to see that, and so they're making it fun,
Yeah.
and that has been a big thing in the death metal scene. It seems like just being unrelenting, but also like being accessible. Because sometimes, dude, I listen to a death metal album and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, and I mean, this goes for deathcore, this goes for anything. I'm like, I've listened to the same track about 10 times.
I know what you mean, dude. It's I've become more of a fan over the past 2 years, and I mean, what you're saying though, like they just make it sound refreshing.
It's awesome.
So highly recommend them. I also recommend you to keep listening because they have some awesome drink choices. So we are talking about what's fueling this band. What are they drinking? As far as craft beer, they're huge fans. We love to hear that. Philly's a great scene. There's Victory out that way.
Oh, Pizza Boy's one of my favorites, dude. They're out that way.
Yes.
You ever have Pizza Boy?
I've not, but I've heard of them. I know of them, their existence. Definitely want to get my hands on one of their beers. But because the band's from Philly, they love the Philly area and the great scene of craft beer there. RK, he says he regularly visits Attic Brewing for their Metal Mondays that they have every Monday. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
He also loves their beer titled Electric Whiskers. What a great title. The rhythm guitarist, Hal, he's actually RK's partner in crime when it comes to craft beers. He tends to gravitate towards a hazy IPA, so he probably loves Arie's beer. But he also loves some great stouts and porters.
My boy.
Hal sounds like you, dude, for sure. I could get down with some Electric Whiskers, so I will compare myself to RK. But I don't know, like I said, I've been opening my palate and just wait to see what other beers I got from this pick six. I think it'll be up Hal and RK's alley, even Arie. So can't wait to show off those beers. But great choices, both who responded. Thank you for sharing what you drink. That's half the reason this show exists, because we love hearing from metal musicians that enjoy craft beer. So cheers to y'all. Last but not least, we like to ask these features about what they are jamming, and I'm going to read this list real quick. So this is coming from Ron and Hal. And number one, they have Undeath with their song Bone Rot. Great choice. Phobophilic, awesome band. And their song Those Which Stare Back.
Love
next
that
up,
name.
Yeah, same here, dude. Next up at number 3, we have Void Cosm with their song Death Vocation. After that, 200 Stab Wounds with their song Drilling Your Head. Then we have Sentient Horror with The Grave Is My Home. IATT with their song Exculpate, Exonerate. After that, at number 7, we have Void Rot with their song Telluric Dismemberment. That was close enough.
Yeah, that's good.
At number 8, we have Apostasy with Sulfur Injection. The song is called Sulfur Injection.
All one word.
Then we have Nordjvel. Maybe I got it on that second take.
Yeah, I think so.
At number 9 with their song Within the Eyes. And last but not least, at number 10, we have Maul with their song Repulsive Intruder. Definitely some death metal on that list. But they are choosing some great bands. I will say I know about half this list after, like I said, I'm getting more into death metal. So I know about half this list, but you can't go about your day without listening to Undeath. They deserve your attention. Even Phobophilic, I think that was one of the most underrated death metal albums of last year. I'm kid you not. I feel like more people should be talking about them. And then 200 Stab Wounds is another highlight for me. It's Florida death metal, y'all. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's cool to hear like like the mix of like everyone's still like pretty underground, but like 200 Stab Wounds has blown the fuck up.
Yes.
In a very short amount of time, which rightfully so, because they're very good at what they do. Same thing with Undeath. They like I saw them last year, actually the year before, and they were awesome. So like they bring the live heat. Album wise, they're sick, and yeah, I mean this is a really good collection of death metal tracks for the Hopwolves to check out, as well as your boys here, because Todd's familiar with about half. I think I know about 3, so I'm excited to check out the rest of them and expand my horizons with that stuff. I mean, I think the last thing of note is just how to check the band out, dude, because like we've been really, honestly, very bad about this part of it.
We're gonna call ourselves out. We're calling the crowd out, which is ourselves. We've been terrible about the ending of the podcast, so we're gonna kind of change those up a little bit, but we're also gonna do a way better job at saying where to find out about this band we just talked about. So Arie, hit us with where you can find out about Blasphemous.
It looks like the boys are on Facebook at Blasphemous Metal. Their Instagram is blasphemous_official. Twitter is Blasphemous Band. You can find them on Bandcamp, Spotify, and Apple Music. So give the boys some love. They're killing it for sure. And can't wait to listen to Eternal Misanthropy on repeat and the rest of this album. And I know they've got something coming up for their 20-year anniversary. I don't know what it is, but excited to see what that entails from Blasphemous. So stay brutal, friends. Listen to Blasphemous. Listen to the Certified Brutal Bangers. Just have a good fucking time, dude. That's what it's all about. Fuck around and find out. That's where we're at.
Let's go.